All praises to the Most High God. Hiya, hiya. How you guys doing today? Happy Mother's Day to you guys. And I'm here to actually talk to you guys about how God actually describes himself as a mom, right? He refers to himself as a mom plenty of times in the Bible, only because he wants to show his attentive side and his nurturing side to his people. Okay, obviously, when it comes down to Genesis, Genesis actually means to conceive. Okay, so if we actually take Genesis, it says the origin or mode of formation of something, right? Source, origin, root, right? Meaning to conceive. In Genesis, conceive typically means to become pregnant or to bring something new into existence, whether physical or metaphysical. It can also signify the beginning of a thought, plan, or purpose within the heart. Okay? So we have to understand, man, that when it comes down to conception, it is based off of the book of Genesis already from the jump. Okay? So this means that when God actually created the female, which is Eve, right, with Adam, you have to understand that God knows both sides and their true natures. Okay. So that doesn't mean that God is a woman, right? Because clearly the name of God is masculine. All, all I'm trying to actually get you guys to understand is that being feminine and actually being a woman plays a crucial role in the Bible too. You know, there's a lot of narratives out there when it comes down to the Bible and how the Bible mistreats women when it comes down to the stories in the Bible. But when it comes down to women, we have to understand how important women are in the Bible as well. Okay. And this is how we do it. God describes himself not only just as a man, but he has feminine traits as well. Okay. And this is how he describes himself in the Bible as well. All right. So if we sit here and say that God is everything, right? We can't sit here and say that God doesn't have a creative side. God doesn't have a feminine side to him. So let's go ahead and take a look at these scriptures and let's see what's going on and how God compares himself to a mother. All right. So it says, Genesis 1:27, women and men created in God's image. Very important. It says, humankind was created as God's reflection, and the divine image, God created them, female and male, God made them. Okay? So we have to understand when they use the word God, if you look at the mechanical version of the Torah, you will see that in the mechanical version of the Torah, God actually means Elohim. Okay. And the Elohim actually means powers. All right. I could be able to show you this. It says, hold on, give me 1 second. Mechanical version of the Torah. If we go ahead and actually look at Genesis chapter 1, and we go down to where man is made, right? We're going to see something, right? As a matter of fact, we don't have to. Elohim is right here, okay? So if we click on Elohim, Elohim means powers, all right? Strong's concordance of 0430. So if we go and we do Strong's 0430, Aneko, right? To endure, to bear with, but that's 430. H430, right? Elohim, Elohim, right? Strong's Info, plural, the plural version of H433. Okay, it says gods in the ordinary sense, but specifically used in the plural thus, especially with the article of the supreme God, right? Occasionally applied by way of difference Two, magistrates, and sometimes as a superlative, angels exceeding God, gods, or goddess, right? Goddessly, very great judges and mighty. Okay, very important. That's highly important. Plural of, let's go to it. Eloah, right? So that's singular. Okay, this is the singular version. And if we actually go, this is the plural version. So when we say Elohim, we're talking about a plural masculine noun. All right. This is why it means powers right here in Elohim, right? Powers with an S. So we can see in the beginning, they're not talking about the Most High God, Haya Haya, because in chapter 2, you have something different. Okay. Pay attention to what they actually say in chapter 2. It says Yahweh the Elohim, right? And Yahweh is not even it. It's actually Haya Hove Eiyeh, right? Haya Hove Eiyeh, Hove Eiyeh, right? It says the phrase Haya Hove Eiyeh translates to he will be, he is, and he was. It represents the unchanging nature of God, emphasizing his presence across all time. This concept is a key aspect of understanding God's name and its variations. All right. So this is the hidden name of God, right? Hayahovah. So clearly we could see that YHWH is this. It is not Yahweh, right? Which I broke down already. And it is not Yahweh. It is not Hawa either. It is Haya. Okay. Haya Haya is am. I am that I am. So knowing this, right? Knowing all of this, we could see that they're not talking about the Most High in Genesis 1. Okay, so we can't use that. So let's go down to the second one. It says Hosea 11, 3 through 4. God describes as a mother. It says, God, yet it was I who taught Ephraim to walk, I who taught them up in my arms. But they did not know that I healed them. I led them with cords of human kindness, with bands of love. I was to them like those who lift infants to their cheeks. I bent down to them and fed them. Okay? What does a mother do? A mother nurtures and feeds, and she takes care of her children. This is exactly what God is actually describing in Hosea 11. Okay, let's keep going. It says, God described as a mother bear, like a bear robbed of her cubs, not his cubs, her cubs. I will attack them and tear them asunder. Okay, now let's keep going, right? This is talking about a mother, right? This is talking about a mother fighting for her children. All right. This is very powerful within itself. You don't need a physical human being to actually gain power and gain knowledge as a feminine human. You don't need a physical being to do a lot of great stuff in the Bible. All you need is God actually referencing himself as a woman. Then you'll understand how powerful a woman is and why God created a woman in the first place. It's to become one flesh with the man, period. So let's move on. It says Deuteronomy 32, 11 through 12. It says God described as a mother eagle. Okay. This is the reason why when you see American Indians today, they have feathers on their heads. Okay. It says, like the eagle that stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, God spreads wings to catch you and carries you on pinions. The word pinion means ibar. Ibar is similar to Eber, and Eber is the Hebrew word for Hebrew. This is the reason why we have or we wear feathers on our heads. Is because we are technically the children of the mother eagle. Okay, so that's very powerful. It says Deuteronomy 32:18, God who gives birth. It says, you were unmindful of the rock that bore you. You forgot the God who gave you birth. The only human that could be able to give birth is a woman. So who else is he talking about? Right? Who else is he describing himself or comparing himself as? Right? So we have to understand these metaphors, right? That should gain some type of inspiration for the woman in the Bible. Okay. Now remember, God is not a woman. Okay. I know y'all could get that misconstrued sometimes by trying to take things literal. God is not a woman by a long shot, but he does actually reference a lot of things in the Bible to inspire the woman's creativity, to inspire the woman's nature, to inspire that the woman plays an important part in the Bible. Okay? This is what this is. It says, Isaiah 66:13, God as a comforting mother. As a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. You shall be comforted in Jerusalem. Okay, let's keep going. Isaiah 49:15, God compared to a nursing mother. Can a woman forget her nursing child or show no compassion for the child of her womb? Right? Because the child is already going to be connected to the mother, right? So thanks to, the placenta, the umbilical cord, right? All of it, all of it. It says, God as a woman in labor. For a long time I have held my peace. I have kept myself still and restrained myself. Now I will cry out like a woman in labor. I will gasp and paint. Okay? It says Psalms 131:2, God as a mother. But I have calmed and quieted my soul, like a weaned child with its mother. My soul is like the weaned child that is with me. Okay? Let's keep going. Psalms 123, 2 through 3. It says, God compared to a woman. As the eyes of a servant looks to the hand of their master, as the eyes of a maid to the hand of her mistress, so our eyes look to you, Hayahoveh, until you show us your mercy. All right, let's keep going. Matthew 23:37 and Luke 13:34. God as a mother hen. All right, pay attention. It says Jesus, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. All right. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. I'm going to say this again. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathering her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. He was trying to actually say the same thing in Deuteronomy 32, except they wasn't willing to actually be protected by him. Okay? Because they were technically committing adultery. They were technically cheating on him by actually worshiping other gods and other idols. It says Luke 15:8 through 10. God as woman looking for her lost coin. Or what woman having 10 silver coins, if she loses one of them, does not light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? When she has found it, she called together her friends and neighbors, saying, Rejoice with me, for I have found the coin that I had lost. Just so, I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Compiled by the Women's Ordination Conference. All right? So there you have it. There you have it. And I'm pretty sure there's more. Okay? I'm pretty sure there's more. So when it comes down to it, the woman does play an important role in the Bible. Okay? If you're trying to look at for those important roles, people talk about it all the time. People talk about it all the time. People pretty much make pages and pages on in websites, right? Just by blurting out this stuff on websites. So if people actually come to you with a narrative saying that, women are treated badly in the Bible, or there's no inspiration when it comes to women empowering themselves in the Bible, just show them this. Show them, yeah, there's some bad sides to the Bible when it comes to women, but there's also some good sides from God Himself. You see what I mean? Because it's the same thing when it comes to men. There's some bad sides when it comes to men. Men do a lot of evil shit in the Bible. But then you have a lot of righteous men, right? Who's one with God. You have a lot of righteous men who decides to do God's work. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about narrative. That's it. It's all about narrative. So which narrative are you gonna take, right? Are you gonna read the Bible for yourself and actually take your own narrative? Or are you gonna take the narrative of somebody else? Are you going to actually study the scripture, the original scriptures that actually came out? Or are you only going to study the translations, even though there's billions and billions of translations of the Bible? And you don't know which translation is the true translation. You see? So always study yourself, because once you study and learn better, you be better. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.